Habit change is hard, there's no doubt about it. And nowadays, with the constant flood of personal development information out there on the internet, we've encountered a new problem when it comes to establishing new habits into our lives. Which habits should we implement into our life? And exactly how many? The answers to both of these questions are very personal, but today I want to talk about ways to ease the process of habit change, as well as how to be more intentional about which habits we implement into our lives. So first, let's talk about establishing habits. I currently have 5 daily habits that I try to do every day. And notice how I said try. You see, the thing about habits is that it's not about perfection. It's about being consistent as humanly possible. And as a fellow human, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to miss a day or two, as long as you get back on track. That's where discipline comes in, of course. But anyways, now that we got that cleared up, back to my daily habits. Every day I try to be still, read, write, move, and create or play. But before I talk about why I've chosen these 5 habits in particular, I want to talk about how I've managed to maintain them. You see, I only really subscribe to one rule when it comes to implementing new habits into my life, and that rule is make it incredibly easy to succeed. And what I mean by that is that I make the threshold for achieving that habit so low that I'll feel silly for not doing it. For instance, for my still habit, which essentially means meditation, I started out meditating for only 5 minutes per day. Now I do anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes every day. This is my most consistent habit, by the way. I've meditated for about 120 days in a row at the time of this recording. For my reading habit, as long as I read 1 page, I can check off my reading habit for the day. Same applies for my writing habit. If I so much as write 1 page, I can check off my writing for the day. For my move habit, which is essentially my minimalist way of saying exercise, my threshold sits at a brisk 15-minute workout. Easy, right? And lastly, when it comes to my create/play habits, in order to check off my create habit for the day, I can either make a whole YouTube video or make something as simple as a 15-second TikTok. And my play habit gets checked off if I play my guitar for just 15 minutes. And honestly, I usually end up playing at least 15 minutes more than that. Now, I know what you're thinking. Marissa, habit change cannot be that simple. And my answer to that is habit change is that simple. However, I understand that it by no means is easy. As we all know, habits take discipline. And in my own experience, I've always had an easier time staying disciplined to things that I, A, actually enjoy doing, and B, things that I have actually found helpful or impactful in my life. And hopefully you know where I'm going with this. As I mentioned before, we are constantly bombarded with personal development content, with people telling us to do this and to do that every day, every week, every month. It can easily get to a point where we feel overloaded with too many habits to implement at once. So when it comes to choosing which habits to implement into your own life, I suggest you ask yourself these 2 questions. First, do I actually enjoy this habit? And second, does this habit impact my life in a helpful or meaningful way? Now, this is where the tricky part comes in. In order for us to honestly answer these questions, we must first give these habits a try, at least for a limited time. Think of it as a trial run. And I personally suggest that you try to maintain this habit for at least a month. And once the end of the month comes around, you can decide for yourself whether or not you're going to keep that habit in your life or not. I would also advise you not to try to implement too many habits at once. I really encourage you to just focus on one habit at a time, especially if you're new to habit change and implementing new habits into your life. I think 1 is very much more manageable. I would say 2 at the most. Anything more than that, I believe, can be overwhelming. All in all, there's no secret to making and keeping habits. But I think the more intentional we are, the easier it will be to decide which habits, if implemented, would truly have a positive impact on our lives. Alright YouTube, if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you would like to see more from me, and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Marissa Roxas, I'm a filmmaker from San Diego, California, and I hope to help you put self-love first. Alright, take care.